Now, barely a week after launching a controversial plan to distribute food in Gaza, the organisation behind it is shutting its operations for a day. The US and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation announced its distribution centres will close on Wednesday. In a statement, it cited, quote, the need for an update and efficiency work improvement. And it said Palestinians are banned from entering its food distribution sites. The Israeli army says the roads leading to them are now combat zones. Operations are due to resume on Thursday. Well, the announcement follows another day of Israeli forces firing at Palestinians queuing to collect food. The UN says the attacks are a war crime. 27 people were killed in the latest incident on Tuesday. And the closure of distribution centres have left already starving Palestinians with almost no options. The few charity soup kitchens still operating are overrun, offering what little they have to desperate people. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has faced serious challenges after a week of repeated failures in delivering meaningful aid. Food distribution has been chaotic at distribution sites in Rafah. More than 100 Palestinians have been killed there since the organisation started operating on May 27th. The Boston Consulting Group, which helped design the business operations of the GHF, has ended its role with the group. The GHF Executive Director Jake Wood resigned a day before the foundation began its operations, citing concerns over independence and impartiality. Dr. Mads Gilbert is a senior consultant and professor of emergency medicine at the University Hospital of North Norway, and he joins us now from Tromsø in Norway. Good to have you with us. So today we are hearing that this organisation, the GHF, saying that it's halted its distributions for 24 hours to make changes. Can you give us an idea of what changes need to be made?
What needs to be made is for Israel to keep their hands off the distribution of humanitarian aid. Listen, humanitarian aid is non-negotiable. It's part of the international community's agreement that people in dire needs shall have unlimited access to whatever help they need, if it's tents or food or water. Israel has now made a whole new set of rules where they exclude the common mechanism, which is the UN mechanism of distributing help to people in need. And they have replaced it with a militarized and weaponized type of distribution system. What we see in Rafah is actually that the Israeli occupation army with mercenaries from the US are using food as a bait to attract starving people and then killing them. And let me remind you that the majority of those killed, according to my colleagues in Nasser and Al-Aqsa Hospital, are shot in the head and the chest. So this is deliberate killing. The point here is that Guterres, the Secretary General of UN, he stated a few days ago that the UN has the equivalent of 9,000 truckloads with food, water, and other needed subjects in waiting outside Gaza. And Israel has closed off the whole mechanism of distribution. And they have shown they can't manage it because they don't have the purpose of helping people who are starving, but they are using starvation as a tool to kill even more Palestinians. It is outrageous and it has to stop.
Have you shared these concerns with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation?
I have absolutely no contact with them, nor would I like to have any contact with them. I think the messages from the most important UN agencies who are given the authority by the international community to distribute help. It's the World Food Programme. In Gaza, it is UNRWA, United Nations Work and Relief Organization for Palestinian Refugees. It is UNICEF, and so on. They have been completely sidelined, and they have been very, very clear in their condemnation of this invention of using food distribution as a way to kill more civilians. So I don't think there is much to talk to them about. What we need now is robust sanctions and a stop to Israel's outrageous killing of starving people. And look, Gaza has been in this situation for more than 600 days now. And still, there is no sign that Israel will be stopped by the international community. They are allowed to go on And I fear that within the next 2 to 5 years, international order, as we have been used to see it, will break completely down, because what is allowed for Israel will then be the standard for other warmongers in the world. It's a very serious situation.
And what does seem to continue be extraordinary is how blatant Israel is in its objectives, saying that these distribution sites are being placed in the south. There's 3 in the south, 1 in the centre of Gaza, and that is to move people from the north of Gaza. And now saying that even the roads leading to these distribution centres are combat zones.
It's an absurd theater, and the victims of this absurd theater are the Palestinian people, decent people who are now turned into desperate human beings trying to find something to feed their family and their children. It is so degrading that it's almost hard to find words. And Israel, you know, a blatant liar. First, they denied that they had been shooting at these starving people seeking food parcels at this distribution point. Then they have now acknowledged that it was indeed they who are shooting and killing the starving people. They keep lying all the way, and I'm extremely worried that the international humanitarian sphere and the way we have organized for people in an earthquake or in a flooding or in a war zone is going to be destroyed completely by this US-Israeli way of sidetracking the organized professional system. And bear in mind that the only organization that has the capacity, the knowledge, and the experience to do this in a professional way is UNRWA and World Food Programme.
And your fears of this way being sidetracked coming from the fact that the global community is still not acting towards Israel in light of the GHF, in light of people being killed as they try to get aid in this degraded fashion, that there is still no talk of sanctioning Israel. Is that why you're so concerned that this is going to, or could potentially become the new norm?
Absolutely, and the Western world and EU and NATO are not impotent. They are not willing to stop Israel. Had this taken place in Ukraine, there would have been massive new sanctions on Russia. So there is a deep-rooted racism embedded in this, what's happening now, and the lack of active action from the Western governments. Because had these starving people in Gaza been white, blue-eyed, blonde people like me, it would never have been allowed to happen. And don't forget that Israel is an associated member of NATO and sitting in many of their committees and organs. So what we're seeing here is the most brutal settler colonial project that modern history has ever seen. We have never seen these kind of atrocities going back to the colonization of Australia and North America. Not even then were there brutality at this level from a state-organized army. So I'm very, very fearful that we are entering into a new era of colonialism and of brutality against the people of the global south. That's what we're seeing in Gaza, and that's why it's mandatory to stop Israel now through actions and through political pressure. And I ask myself, where are the Arab governments? Why don't they turn off the gas and oil to the West until Israel has turned on the supplies to Gaza? I repeat, 9,000 truckloads equivalent of food is waiting, ready to be distributed. And the system is ready. It's experienced. It's based on UN. This has to be opened. Gaza must be opened immediately, and there must be an immediate ceasefire. I say that as a doctor, because there is no healthcare system in the world that can amend and sort of absorb these kind of atrocities: starvation, killing, wounding people, not medical equipment. It's a total genocide and a total ethnic cleansing. We're watching hour by hour on our cameras, and the West is not doing anything, and the Arab leaders are not doing anything to contain and stop Israel.
Very strong words from you, Dr. Mads Gilbert. We appreciate you taking the time to join us there from Norway.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.